Welcome back to Morning Manna. I'm Pastor James, and this is day 2 of this series on followership. Today we're going to look at some of the commands to be a good follower. Let's start in Paul's letter to the Romans. In Romans 13, let every person be subject to the governing authorities. There is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. For rulers are not a terror to good conduct, but to bad. Would you have no fear of the one who is in authority? Then do what is good, and you will receive approval. For he is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword in vain, for he is the servant of God, an avenger who carries out God's wrath on the wrongdoer. Therefore, one must be in subjection, not only to avoid God's wrath, but also for the sake of conscience. For because of this, you will also pay taxes, for the authorities are ministers of God, attending to this very thing. Pay to all what is owed to them. Taxes to whom taxes are owed, revenue to whom revenue is owed, respect to whom respect is owed, honor to whom honor is owed. See, as followers, we are to obey your leaders. This doesn't mean obeying only when we agree or feel like obeying, when their orders or instructions fit what I have done, but obey the lawful and legal orders and instructions of your leaders. Not only obey, but submit as well. See, submission differs from obedience because it implies a positive heart attitude. We may obey because we have to, but submission is a choice to joyfully put ourselves under the authority of another. Submission is obeying on the outside and the inside. Now, I'm not saying do unethical things that violate our faith, that go against our conscience or our biblically founded morals. But simply put, the law does not dictate our ethics. God does. See, this is the idea behind peaceful protests, especially in the civil rights era. Folks would break unjust laws, but you didn't see them struggling to avoid their arrest. You didn't see them acting violently or promoting chaos. In fact, they gladly submitted to the legal consequences of their actions, often with the hope that the sight of such submission in the face of injustice would spark change. You see, if we break an unjust law to highlight and protest its injustice, we should be willing to submit to the punishment for breaking such laws, so that we demonstrate our respect for the role of government in general. Again, I'm not saying go against what God has ordered, for we do not follow a God of chaos, each doing whatever we want, but a God of order and respect for one another and the governing authorities. Remember Daniel? We talked about him yesterday. He stood up and practiced his faith even when it went against the decree of Darius. But he has submitted himself to the punishment prescribed by doing so and went gladly into the lion's den. There are times when we, as followers of Christ, will be called upon to stand with a holy no in the face of evil and injustice. God bless you guys, and we'll see you back tomorrow.